Out of the blue of the western sky comes Sky King. As we say here in the West.
Well, looky here. Oh, wrong name tag. Sorry. Another show I do. I ought to turn that off or I'll change it somehow. What did I do here? Hey, we're back. We're back. We have a lot of things to talk about. Not all of it is going to be nice. Hey, Andy. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Well, I see nothing. Nonetheless. Welcome to Classic Television SmackDown, where every other Friday, we touch back on our past in the form of classic television, live action for that matter. Usually, not usually, all the time on Saturdays. We do Saturday morning cartoons where we talk about the animation portion of our past. So I like to bring up my fantastic, lovely co-host up here, Rosemarie Rose and Jerome Connor.
Hello.
Well,
Hello.
you know, it's an open-ended question to ask how you guys are doing. I think we all pretty much know how everybody is doing, and it ain't necessarily a pleasant week. We took off last week. Oh my God, where's my beer? I just saw Rose, so I'm really angry now. So you don't want this side of me right now. I'm like the Hawk. You know, why you think he got off?
Mark needed beer.
First off, okay, the tire got a flat. He had to find his lug wrench. Here, she's changing the lug wrench. It's pouring, raining, and there's no beer in the car. I was out too.
Yeah, I can't blame the guy for that one, you know. And then because there was no beer, he went, "Why do I even have this car here?" And he just threw it down the, he threw it down the gully.
It was all about the beer, okay, and that's how I am too. I already drank one can.
All right, so how about this? I'm going to have one of these tonight.
Nice.
Show that to
yourself,
a diabetic.
Jerome.
Show that to a diabetic, why don't you? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, since you're eating Twizzlers nowadays.
Oh my God, I don't know what the hell's going on. Everyone who knows me knows about my Tootsie Roll affliction that I had over the last couple years, and out of the freaking blue, out of nowhere, I got a Twizzler. I always love Twizzlers. I eat Twizzlers, but now it's just gotten absolutely ridiculous. You know, hey, Brady, good to see you, brother. What?
Splurging.
I have no idea what that
Splurging.
means.
You splurge, you know, you go and you spend money frivolously, or you eat lots of food, you know, that you're not supposed to. Splurging.
Sorry, I'm American and not Russian. I have
no. That's a New England. It's a New England thing. And by the way, hi, Ron. Ron. Just so you people know who Ron is. Yeah. Ron was my best man at my wedding.
Very nice.
Ron, I am so sorry. I'm sure there was a gun in your back. And
no. He won the bet. He won the bet that I was going to be late to the wedding.
Well, that's even worse, guys. We tossed up. Who wants to be best man at Jerome's wedding? You guys drew straws.
No. When I walked in, because I was late due to the suit not fitting properly. When I walked in, I saw money starting changing hands.
Oh, I see. Who gets the bride? Is that
no? Who bet on me being late at what time?
Yeah, how long this wedding's going or this marriage is going to last?
Lasted longer than most people thought.
All right, real quick. Hey, guys, thank you for joining us. Like I said, we try to go back into your past and talk about great things. But prior to every start of each show, we do Saturday morning cartoons tomorrow morning. And, of course, Classic Television SmackDown. We talk to our co-hosts to see how everybody's doing. Two of us, and, of course, the top two Bradys up here were inundated with a hurricane. If you've never been through a hurricane before, you New Englanders, which
I've been granted it was only a category 1, but we do get hurricanes every so often up here.
Category 1, you freaking amateur. So
hey,
if you
come up here when I got a snowstorm going. I keep hearing about
I moved from up there because
no, you were in Baltimore.
Okay?
That wasn't a tough snowstorm.
Well, yeah, I was in Baltimore. I know what it's out like to dig out my parking spot. That's why I left. Okay, now I'm digging sand. How about that?
I can imagine.
That and you've got iguanas dropping from the trees when it gets cold, right?
Look, you learn how to duck and cover. That's it, duck and cover. We may be near the coast of Cuba, but we had a new duck and cover. We have a conversation walking down the streets of Miami. We go, yeah, yesterday I went to this movie, iguana, and yesterday
iguana.
We know how to do it. So let's start with Rose, ladies and gentlemen, was basically at ground zero.
Yeah.
Hurricane Ian.
Yes.
He's a punk, by the way. Ian's a punk. When Hurricane Ian decided to pay a visit. Rose, give us a short synopsis of how you're doing, what happened, what was it like, and then I'll give you my take since I'm further north than you are.
Okay. I was very fortunate that Hurricane Ian hit 20 miles north of where I live, because I live in Lehigh. I'm inland. That doesn't always mean that you're safe. By no means. We had rain starting the day before, and it never stopped raining. We had winds in the morning up until about 3:30, maybe 50, 60 miles per hour. Then at around 3:30 in the afternoon, we got the back half of the hurricane. And we had like 100-mile-per-hour winds in our area alone for about 4 straight hours. Back in 2017, we were hit by Hurricane Irma. This area got hit much worse in Irma for Lehigh.
Yeah.
Not for the rest of it. Yeah. This was a devastating hurricane. Sanibel Island is a lot of it's lost and gone. Fort Myers Beach, all those hotels people have been to for 30 years are gone. They were all washed out into the sea. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of loss of life, and they're still finding people. And even though they're making headway on getting electricity back in a lot of areas, the area where I work in Cape Coral, Florida, they got both halves of the bad part of the hurricane. So they had winds up to 150 miles per hour for hours and hours from the front and the back, and they got the eye. So I feel really bad for everybody. My workplace is still without power. We've been out of the office since last Tuesday, so it's been several days now. But all in all, those of us here, we feel very fortunate. Not now, depending on how the winds blew, some places in Lehigh got it very bad. I have a friend who has over $30,000 worth of damage to 2 cars and her house. So, that is considered minimal right now compared to a lot of other people, especially on the coast. So my heart goes out to everybody affected by this. It's really ruined our tourism for several years probably to come, and we rely on that for our beaches. And a lot of people didn't evacuate, and unfortunately they're still finding people. So when they tell you to go. That's my best advice to anybody. And let's just, please keep us, this Gulf Coast of Florida, in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Well, with you being further south than me, even though it did cross the state, it's been 100 years since I think it hit where you guys, and if you guys want to get a kind of a thing in your brain of how this works, state of Florida, she's on, if you're looking at a map, she's on the left bottom side of the state. I'm in central Florida. I'm almost basically in the middle of the state. And then Daytona Beach, below Daytona Beach, there's the city of DeLand and Deltona and DeBerry. And DeLand is where I work. And long story short, because I can make this long, I went to work last Friday after cleaning up my parking lot of my community for 3 hours, getting all the debris out. The winds did wake me up at 2:00 in the morning because of tree limbs slamming my window, which I thought were going to break. That's how it was doing. And I'm a veteran of hurricanes, so I know what they're like. This was not the worst hurricane that I've been through, and I actually downgraded it before it even reached Florida. Like, hurricane, schmurricane, whatever, mainly because of what our weather people and their reputations are like sometimes. And it's, it's all guessing game with weather guys, regardless of the science that they have. Land zero was supposed to be in Tampa, and I called a lot of friends down in Tampa to come on up to Orlando and stay in my house to get out of that stuff, and it eventually hit, a little further south of Tampa, which was where Rose lives. But by the time it got to us, it kind of spared Central Florida in a bit, Disneyland, Orlando, yada, yada. But by the time it reached further northeast, which was Daytona Beach and where my office is, that's when it revved up a little bit more power and kind of wiped that area out. Not literally wiped it out, but gave problems. So anyway, going to work on Friday, I went there. My boss was having cell phone issues, could not contact me to tell me not to come to work on Friday because there's no power. Okay, but so I ended up there anyway, and I'm wondering, oh my God, nobody's here. Went inside the office, all dark, whatever, turned off the alarm, blah, 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 blah. And immediately, somehow my boss was able to get some text throughs, told me, hey, because I was texting him pictures of what the parking lot looked like, our back parking area. And instead of going back home, I spent 3 hours cleaning yet another parking lot. Eventually, an hour later, my boss showed up with chainsaws and all kinds of stuff. This is typical of Floridians, guys, is the cleanup. Mainly we have to clear the streets first because we have to go from point A to point B. Okay, and then we start looking at the damage and see who needs help and yada, yada, yada. So they're saying this is the worst in our state, which I'm actually surprised. But due to the fact that it hit where Rose lived, down in her area and everything, I understand where they're getting at. My worst hurricanes were the 4 hurricanes that hit this state in 6 weeks back in 2004. Those were my worst. And other than that, we're all here to tell the tale. I'm happy to see you, Rose, because you were down at ground zero. Thank God that you guys didn't suffer any serious damage. And it's really interesting. I was just over that bridge that leads to Sanibel Island. I remember calling my boss complaining it was a freaking $6 toll to get over this damn bridge onto the island. And then when you see the area photos, I'm sitting here going, "Oh my God, I was there."
There's five areas on the causeway that are compromised, and one part's just totally washed out.
Yeah, I saw them. They just collapsed.
Yeah, and basically, in being in the construction industry, engineering and architecture, I don't care what anybody says. You get the Army Corps engineers in there, yada yada yada. That's all going to be temporary. But to literally rebuild what was broken down will take a couple years. Maybe a solid year. To get all that back in. But the problem is people who live there, people have to go back and forth there. They can only do it by boat or helicopter. That's the only way they can get back and forth on that island. And that is one of the top tourist locations here in the state of Florida.
Yes.
That island, and it's amazing to see that, well, you won't be able to go there for the next couple of years now.
So I guess, Mark, as an architect down in Florida, you're going to be busy the next few years.
Well, I'm hoping not. To be honest with you, that's the worst kind of business I want to have. Business per disaster, reason of disaster. I really don't want to be profitable on anyone's discomfort.
No, I understand, Mark. I was just making a joke.
I get it. I'll be there to help out whatever they need, and I did that when we had a tornado 2 years ago go through my work area, and I got a lot of contracts from that business. So. So it's gonna be interesting, but nonetheless, hurricanes. We've seen hurricanes. In fact, there were some classic movies back in the past, if you remember. One of them was Hawaii, I think, was a movie that showed hurricane, and then there was
no. You got to go further back to the.
That's what I'm trying to remember.
Which one?
Black and white one is when I remember.
Do you mean the one with Humphrey Bogart?
You're talking about Key Largo?
No, Key Largo.
Oh my
God. That is probably a good example of a hurricane, watching Key Largo, because I've been Key Largo many times, and just for them to mention, the bridge is out, and bridge. Well, there's only really a single bridge going in and out of Key Largo. It's just a matter of what portion of it went down.
Come on, Mark. You know how to whistle, don't you?
Just put your lips together. But yes, so that was our hurricane damage. We're still getting reports, and I'm just actually pretty shocked at the number of deaths that occurred by this. But like Rose had pointed out, when they tell you to go. There's really, you can't put your arms around your house and think you can save it from being knocked over.
It's the whole Chicken Little thing. You get so many close calls, and nobody thought it was gonna make a direct hit on those beaches. And those beach people, they're very hard headed.
Yeah,
and they don't want to leave.
Yeah.
And this time, like the most of Fort Myers Beach is now in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was on Fort Myers Beach. You were the one you were the one to tell me to avoid going to Fort Myers Beach
because of the.
For us Floridians, we can go ahead and slam our own locations here. Cocoa Beach to me is the dirty beach. Okay, the tourists go to Cocoa Beach. We locals know we don't go to Cocoa Beach often because it's not the better of where we can actually go to. It's down on the scale. And you had mentioned something similar to that about Fort Myers Beach. I mean,
it's just a lot of younger people go down there, and it's hard to get on and off the bridge. It's just a lot of logistics, But sadly, it breaks my heart that happened.
Let me tell you guys something really quick, and then we're going to move on to our show.
Absolutely.
When I was sweeping up our neighborhood, 3 hours worth of all the debris and pulling limbs out of roadways so people can drive and whatever, this was Thursday. The storm hit Orlando area around about 2 a.m. Wednesday. Thursday, it was at full hilt. When it died down a little bit, because I was home, I said, okay, now I can kind of at least go outside and sweep and brush and whatever. Multiple times I literally had to stop because the bands of the wind of the hurricane was coming around and literally knocking me over. And it happened, and I clocked it. It happened every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, I had to hold on to my broom, stand solidly still, and not move because here comes the winds. Literally the working aspects, the mechanical aspects of a hurricane was in play, and I was being a toy, with this thing. So it's really interesting. I've stood out in hurricanes in 2004 just so I can feel it for the first time. I think it was Charlie or Gene, whichever one. Stood outside. I wanted to do my Gilligan's Island impersonation, through the hurricane. But I can tell you, being hit by hurricane winds alone is like sandpaper being thrown at you and rubbed down the side of your face and your body and the whole 9 yards. It is very, very painful to stand in hurricane winds. It's not like your girlfriend coming up and blowing in your ear. It's nothing like that at all. It hurts. Basically, it hurts. So today, guys, believe it or not, we're back. We're happy to be back. Classic Television Countdown, as we all needed the time off for obvious reason, as you know, as we just explained. But it's my turn, and I decided to do something I'm not sure we've done before. And that was
never done this.
Watched TV finales. Now, granted, even though it says most watch, it's not what I'm going to talk about and show you is not in no specific order from 1 to 10 or vice versa. And it's not even a complete list. There's no way we can do that in one show of all the season finales out there that people enjoy. I just thought I'd pick a few of them and just show you a little bit of what we can talk about. And how am I doing this, by the way? I have to look at my list again. But let me ask first, without you guys elaborating, I only want titles only. Rose, what was, let's say, you can go top 3, even if you can't think of 3. What were your top 3 favorite television finales?
Well, as far as finales go, I usually don't like them, but I'll have to say that the MASH finale was probably the best one.
Okay.
Let's see. Which ones stick out in my head? I mean, I know a lot of ones I don't like. So
well, that's interesting. Tell us some that you don't like.
Here's ones I did not like, because that's probably better. MASH is the best one.
Yep.
I think. I did not like how Seinfeld ended.
Yeah.
You did or did not?
Like how
No.
I got you. Keep going.
I don't like how they ended the Wonder Years.
Okay.
Ooh.
And let's see. How I Met Your Mother. I did not like that ending either.
You never met my mother. What are you talking
about? Oh God, that was a horrible ending.
Yeah.
That was a horrible ending.
Horrible.
Yeah. I don't remember it.
Yeah. When I think about it, definitely MASH. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick. Florida has bears now. Brady. Florida has always had bears. They walk across my lawn all the time.
He's got bears all the time.
Yeah. This is not a news flash, unless you knew or not. Florida is inundated with bears. We know bears. We live with bears. Okay. So how about you, Jerome? Can you name up to 3 finales? And they could be good and worse now that Rose had opened that door.
I actually can name 4 great ones.
Okay. Go for it.
There is, of course, MASH. MASH is the #1 greatest ending of all time.
Yep.
Newhart.
Yep.
Yes.
That was a fabulous ending. I laughed my keister off.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Saint Elsewhere.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, both of you are all going to get a taste of everything you said but one. Okay, so let's just sit back and enjoy. And this is what I'm going to start off with. Okay, let's go to my list here. A Japanese investor announced plans to buy the entire B&B and convert it into a golf course. It's later revealed that this was only a dream. The "it was a dream all along" trope might not work in modern times, but in the 80s, it was the perfect twist. But even though it's only a dream, the finale serves as a morality tale, highlighting the ugly side of greed, as well as the need to stand up for one believes in. Major developments happen in the lives of the main characters. Some receive promotions, others win awards, while others plan weddings. Let me show you a little bit of what I am talking about, and bear with me while I have to, since I'm playing multiple roles here today when doing your own show, as Rose had gotten a taste of in the past. Let's see if this sucker plays. All right, here we go.
Isn't that why she has Rachel?
Yeah, she's got a what do you call it? What was Frasier's? The producer.
The producer, yeah.
You call the producer. All right, check this out, folks.
I've got to get out of this madhouse! You're all crazy!
You know, I've never been knocked out before.
I'll come down there. I'll come down there and take care of that for you.
That is what I got to go through. Forget it.
Honey.
That is the greatest ending.
Honey, wake up. You won't believe the dream I just had. But don't you want to hear about it?
Oh, yeah.
Classic. Absolutely classic.
All right, Bob. What is it?
Well, I was an innkeeper in this crazy little town in Vermont.
I'm happy for you. Good night.
Nothing made sense in this place. I mean, the maid was an heiress. Her husband talked in alliteration. The handyman kept missing the point of things. And then there were these 3 woodsmen. But Only one of them talked.
That settles it. No more Japanese food before you go to bed.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
And I was married to this beautiful blonde.
Go back to sleep, Bob.
Good night, Ellen.
What do you mean, beautiful blonde?
Go to sleep, Emily. You know, you really should wear more sweaters.
I love that ending. That was a great ending.
I honestly would have loved to been in the writer's room when someone, of course it would have been me, came up with this incredible idea. It was brilliant, off the hook. Go ahead, Jerome.
Okay, so they tried to keep this a secret for months, and they did right up until the week before when somebody leaked the ending.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I did not get this. I did not hear about that. So I was.
Oh, I
surprised.
heard about it. I knew that it was
I
coming.
haven't either, to be honest with you. I don't think I heard.
I knew
about
that
it
it was coming. I'd heard about it, and it was. I'm like, and you know why they did this, right? This was a response to another show about It Was All a Dream.
Wow, it's
what
funny.
Dallas?
Dallas.
Wow. Hey guys, let's get on to our next clip.
Okay.
I'll play the clip first. And then you guys give me your I'm chewing a carrot. So freaking complicated.
I think we're all hungry tonight.
Oh man, tonight's dinner was
May
popcorn.
3rd, Dallas is Dallas, the final episode. Trust us, it ends with a bang.
This is CBS.
I love hearing that. Yeah, I love hearing those. Okay. JR is drunk and dejected. He has lost his business to Cliff Barnes. His son has moved to England, and the ownership of his beloved home was given to Bobby. He wants to end it all with an otherworldly creature, calling himself Adam, offers to show him what a world where J.R. Ewing was never born. People can't really be original much anymore, can they? Where a world where J.R. Ewing was never born would be like. In this alternate reality, Gary would be the first son and would run Ewing Oil into the ground, but become a successful lawyer. Jock would kill himself over it, leading to Miss Ellie's death from a broken heart 2 years later. Sue Ellen would be a successful soap opera actress. Oh my God. Life imitating art, right? Would be a successful soap opera actress married to Nicholas Pierce. Kristen Shepard would be a con artist, while Bobby would be a divorced deadbeat dad with a gambling addiction. There would be a third Ewing son named Jason, a conniving, manipulative real estate broker who got into business by selling off South Fork. JR sees more of what a world where he was never born would be like. Ray Krebs does not know what Jock is, that Jock is his real father, but a happy family life despite a liberating back injury. Callie Harper is still in Haleyville, married to an abusive redneck, and Cliff Barnes is vice president of the United States until my apology, until the president suffers a stroke. This was It's a Wonderful Life all over again. Let me guys show you something else real quick. Bear with me on this.
Oh yeah, there's lots of those episodes. It's a Wonderful Life ones. It's like, come on, guys, really?
previously on Dallas.
Oh, Bobby, she's got to live.
If Cliff dies, I don't think I'll ever be able to marry you.
Good morning.
JR, you will be the laughing stock of Texas.
All right, I'm going to drop that because it goes a little further and then basically shows you the 14th season, which is how many seasons I think Dallas went
Just
into.
incredible.
Yeah.
What a great run.
All right, Jerome. Obviously, you watched this, but were you a perpetual watcher? Did you watch this every year? I think it was Friday nights when it came on, too.
Friday nights at 9 o'clock, yeah.
Okay.
Nope, I did not watch it. I was watching other stuff. It was just, I just never got into the primetime soaps for some reason.
I was addicted to them. I was addicted to them. Yeah.
I just could not get into it. I mean, I watched the Who Shot JR when that went around because that was so huge.
Yeah.
The whole Bobby It's a Dream thing, everyone was just like, what a cop out.
Yeah.
But no, I couldn't get into Dallas for some reason or Dynasty.
Right.
Hey, fun fact real quick.
Yes,
Victoria
please.
Principal went to my high school years before I went to high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
One of my classmates had a book, the book that was, one of the books in the 10th grade. It was Victoria Principal's book. Her name was in there.
Yeah. Wow. So
she's cool.
She's a Florida girl then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She tells everybody she's from Miami, but she was really a little bit further south than that.
All right. So basically, that was Dallas. That was a finale. Of course, the finale doesn't necessarily compare to, let's say, the most popular episodes of any of these finales that you're going to see. And we all know what the most popular episode of Dallas was, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually watched that live.
Yes, so did I.
It's one of those cliffhangers where you go, oh my God, I can see myself going back in time and just sitting on the couch and go, oh my God, Exactly. So that was Dallas. I'm going to go ahead and guys and show you guys another clip of something as we go down. Like I said, these are not in any particular order. Okay. They were just the most watched finales, not at a number one, not at a number two. But I did leave some for some of the better moments, shall I say. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a clip of someone that we all know and love. And actually, it's a pair of them. I'm going to show you this individual first and get some thoughts from you. I'm going to cut it short, of course, like a few of these. But you're going to know what we're moving into next. Again, if you guys are watching live, if you're in my chat room, please periodically chime in just to make sure that you're on. We didn't show any music for any of the powers that be to flag us or anything, but Facebook has been making some changes lately that I'm not happy with. But our YouTube channel has been up and running and running strong, and I just want to know where everybody is watching from. Cheryl, if you're up and you see us, please chime in as well, okay? But guys, take a look at this clip a little bit, and you're going to know exactly where we're headed just from the first image that you see. So check this out.
I must tell you a story about objectivity in relation to Norman Lear, if I may. I, of course, left the show a year after Sally and Rob had left. And I had, like Norman and his active part as well, it sort of took off from there. And I had decided we'd done everything we could, and it was time to go on or be buried, as far as casting is concerned in this kind of part. So that was my decision. And a year later, I was on tour in a play. I was in Florida. Call came from Bud Yorkin and then from Norman that his show called Archie Bunker's Place, which went on for 4 years, Carol chose that. They wanted to expand the stories, get him out of the bar where it was usually set, and have him date women so they'd have a greater variety of scripts. And they were calling, I guess, to ascertained that I truly wasn't interested in returning, maybe. And did I mind? And I said no to Bud. No, of course not. And then Norman called, and he said that they had been having meetings with CBS, and he was the last one to. He could not say yes to allow Edith to die, you see, in a script, so that Archie could get on with his life. Well, Norman said on the phone, I cannot, I just haven't been able to say yes to this. So I brought it down to this. I said to Norman, you realize, don't you, she is only fiction. There was a long pause, and I thought, I've heard this dear man that I love so much. And then the voice came back, to me, she isn't. But shortly thereafter, he gave the word, and they made Edith die. And here's a little postscript. I was in Winston-Salem to attend and play a part in the reopening of an old theater down there, which they were naming after Roger Stevens. And I was in the hotel the night this episode aired. And Carol did a great job. He came home after a long time away, a visit, came home to the house, and he found, of course, knowing after the funeral and all that, he found one of Edith's slippers under the chair in the living room, his chair, and he did a whole monologue to this slipper. It was very moving. He was marvelous. So I'd seen that that night in Winston-Salem. The next morning, the maid entered the room. She saw me and she dropped her jaw and said, "My God, I thought you were dead."
Okay, so in a follow-up of that, and let me just read this bit before you go, Jerome. Edith's death, okay, is foreshadowed a bit in the series finale of All in the Family. In Too Good Edith, Archie calls on his wife to help cook the food for the St. Patrick's Day celebration at his bar. Unknown to him, Edith has a bad case of phlebitis and has been told by a doctor to stay off her feet. She doesn't want to disappoint her husband, but finally it catches up with her and she can't walk. The doctor chews out Archie and then feels badly that Edith hadn't told him. In the final few minutes of the series, Archie visits Edith in bed. Now, I'm saying the final few minutes of All in the Family, not Archie Bunker's place. In the final few minutes of the series, Archie visits Edith in bed. Though the characters would continue on, the last scene makes a sweep into the series and shows the heart of a bigot like Archie Bunker, which is interesting. I don't know if the thought was to concentrate more on the finale of All in the Family and not show Edith's death, because it might cloud the ending, bravio of how they wanted that done, or if they honestly wanted to save it as a pick-me-up for the first episode of, or whatever episode it was, of Archie Bunker's place to help with any ratings it might be lacking. Go ahead, Jerome. Any thoughts on this? Oh,
yep, you're
unmute
muted.
yourself. Here, I'll unmute you. Oops, do it again, because I might have been.
There you go. Sorry, I was coughing and I didn't want to cough during
That's
this
good.
whole thing.
No, I try to do the same. Go ahead.
They did this for a couple of reasons. One was they wanted to do a clean cut from All in the Family with Bunker's place.
Yeah.
They really wanted to do different stories. I'd read something about this years back because I was curious about it. And I saw this, and this made me cry. Mm-hmm. It was so intense. But what was interesting is several episodes later into Archie Bunker's place is he realizes he's got to move back into the bedroom. And that one was so more powerful than the ending of.
Can you hold that thought?
Yeah.
Hold that thought, please. Hold that thought.
Holding.
I know you are.
Please hold. Our call is.
You know, I was supposed to be the first one to go. I know I always used to kid you. Are you going first? You know I never meant none of that. And that morning when you was laying there, and I was shaking you and yelling at you to go down and fix my breakfast. I didn't know. You had no right to leave me that way. Without giving me just one more chance to say I love you. She was the one who was supposed to stay down here with you, you know. Not me. 'Cause I ain't no good at none of this. I'll tell you what we do. On Saturday, you know. I'll borrow Murray's car. And you and me would take a little ride to the cemetery.
Can we bring flowers?
Yeah, sure. What kind?
Carnations.
Oh, yeah, carnations. She was always crazy about carnations. Come on. Are you all right now?
I'm all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't hear you.
Whether it's I'm a wreck right now, but whether it's a partner, mother, father, brother, sister, dog, cat, the memories are still there. And this is what people try to avoid sometimes, is the memories, because it's too fresh and it hurts. And, that I remember well. Yeah, just much like Mike just said. But go ahead, Jerome.
7 years ago, coming up right around November in Thanksgiving, I lost my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And watching that right now, I can visualize my father the exact same way, you know, because I helped him clean out the house and all that of mom's stuff. And I could see him doing that, the exact same thing, just sitting there and crying and saying those almost exact same words.
Yeah.
And that to this day, to me, as an adult versus when I was a kid, so much more powerful for me personally.
How about you, Rose? Any thoughts?
It's so human, and that's the wonderful thing about Norman Lear's writing and Carol O'Connor, right?
Yes,
His
correct.
performance, you know, he could be the biggest jerk, and then you get this moment, you know, and it just shows his stamina as an actor, and not only that, it's just the writing. You don't get writing like that much anymore.
Yeah.
All right, so now it's time to piss you off after you guys have been in your solemn world here, which we all respect. But in speaking of finales, not all finales that we liked. What I'm about to show you now, I did not. In fact, I didn't even write about it. Okay, I'm just going to show it to you. Let you guys pee all over it, and let's move on. Okay, so in fact, I will show this first because it is part of the final episode, and then I'll get to the part that really pissed me off. So watch this a little bit.
Crazy, what are you doing? You still got water in your ear.
Can't get rid of it. Maybe it leaked inside my brain.
Kramer, would you stop that? It's not safe to be jumping up and down on a plane.
I gotta get it out. I can't take this anymore.
Kramer, don't be fooling around up here! Kramer! Hey, get the hell out of here.
What is that?
Oh, my God.
What is that noise? What is that noise?
Kramer, what the hell did you do?
I lost my balance.
Oh my God! What's going on? Oh!
Kramer! It was an accident! I told you to stop what happened!
Oh my God! We're going down! We're gonna die!
Just what I was doing! Christ!
Okay, as much as I love this show, they deserve to crash and burn, and I'm about to show you why they deserve to crash and burn. So I need to put a disclaimer up, which I gotta say verbally. NBL Entertainment Group is in no way responsible for what it is you're about to see. Any retribution that you think you need to take towards its host or any of its other hosts will be met with hellfire. So back away.
In a year. And then we'll be back. Could be fun. Don't have to worry about your meals or what you're gonna do Saturday nights. And they do shows. Yeah, we could put on a show. Maybe Bye Bye Birdie or My Fair Lady. Yeah, Elaine. You could be Liza Doolittle.
Why don't you just blow it out your... If I called Jill from prison, you think that would make up for the other ones?
Sure.
Because you only get one call. The prison call is like the king of calls.
I think that would be a very nice gesture. Jimmy. Uh-oh. I got it. It's out.
Okay, enough of that. Jerome, thoughts?
Yeah, had some good potential with the ending, but I think it went just a little too far, to be honest.
I think they just extended it. I actually was hoping for like a Mary Tyler Moore finale where they're all embraced and they're doing something stupid, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would have been.
I didn't like it at all. I thought it was like an improper ending for that show.
Yeah,
so.
I think it would have been better if they had all like gone 4 different directions somewhere else.
Yeah, that would have been even better. You know.
Yeah, or they went ahead in the future and one comes, you know, they bring in their children's, they introduce each other. You know,
I mean, we're talking about seriously self-absorbed people.
Yes,
you know,
and they needed to remind us of that at the end of the show.
Oh, I know, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was a bad move on my part. So you guys pissed off yet?
No, more disappointed than anything else.
Really?
Yeah, just disappointed, yeah.
How about I give you something really incredible to watch? And this is more in Jerome's geekhood department. But we can, all 3 of us can heavily relate, and we actually have our careers. We need to thank this for a lot of our careers that we all have engaged in, but it was one kick-ass finale. And guys, I want you to take a look at this and gather your thoughts because you're going to love it.
What's going on?
We're under attack. Shield strength down to 52%. Minor damage to the port nacelle.
2 Klingon attack cruisers decloaking to port and starboard.
Warp speed, get us out of here. Warp power's offline, sir. Heading 148 Mark 215, full impulse. Impulse power's fluctuating. Shields down to 30%.
Weapon status. These weapons are no match for their shields.
Jordy, we need more warp power now.
I'm trying, Captain. They're too much for us. I can't keep the phase inducers online.
Shields down to 9%. One more hit and they'll collapse. Open a channel. Open. This is Captain Beverly Picard. We are a medical ship on a mission of mercy. Please break off all... Worf, signal...
I hate when they do stuff like this.
Yeah, same here.
Because the best part's just about to come.
It is, and I think it's the video itself.
Yeah, I
know
think
it's
so
not
too.
Yeah, and it could be the internet. We had some problems here in Florida.
Our shields have collapsed. We are defenseless.
No kidding.
Captain, another ship is decloaking. Bearing 215 Mark 310. It's the Enterprise. They're hailing us.
On screen.
I had a feeling you weren't going to listen to me.
All right, so I'm hoping the lagging is that video. We'll know in the next one. But Star Trek: The Next Generation, guys, do you remember where were you when you watched it? I have no idea where I was. I know where I was for the Best of Both Worlds, but I was actually at a convention for Best of Both Worlds, and we were all in the bar watching part 1 of Best of Both Worlds. And we all screamed in horror at the end of it because, oh my God, where were you when All Good Things came to you there, Jerome?
I was at a bar also, but it was a Starfleet event. We had several ships / clubs all there together in uniform. We made it into a a big blowout. You know, it was at the end of like a 4-hour party before it aired because it was on syndication here. So we were partying like crazy, and you know, raffles, you know, trivia, the whole thing. And it was up in New Hampshire, and I was there with my soon-to-be first wife, later the ex-wife.
How about you, Rose? Do you remember this?
I watched it with my dad. So yes.
Wow. Yeah, there you go. I love it. I thought it was a great finale. The fact that they did go ahead in the future, but then again, that was Picard jumping back and forth through.
And it was a potential future.
Yeah, it was a potential future. Exactly.
I mean, we all loved the shape of the new Enterprise. You know, turning it into a dreadnought.
Oh my God, they pimped it out. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah. But what was interesting was it was Admiral Riker.
Right.
And then when we get forward to Picard, he's still Captain Riker instead of Admiral.
I love the fact when she said, "This is Captain Beverly Picard."
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Everyone else, same place that I was at.
Yeah,
so I would love. I mean, I didn't see season 2 yet of Picard. I've got to get to it.
That's all right.
Does Beverly show up in season 2?
Everything's going to happen this season.
Okay.
Everything's going to happen. That's probably going to be an incredible episode.
I bet you they're going to kill some people off.
All right, guys. So I got about 3 more to show you. Like I said before, those that are joining us, thank you, Brady. All you guys, I love. Yeah. I love.
He also had the strip of white hair because he was in the Isaac Newton house. He was a professor.
I love how they whitened out Riker's hair. I mean, that's that's how I want to mature. That's why I still color my hair now, because I don't know how it's going to end up if I let it grow all out to where it's supposed to. Okay, next subject. Anyway, so that was Star Trek: Best of Both Worlds. Of course,
no, that was Star Trek. That was All Good Things.
I'm sorry, All Good Thing. I got Best of Both Worlds stuck in my brain, but I would totally be amiss if I did not show you guys that. Once again, this is Classic Television SmackDown, guys, where we're doing most watched finales. And of course, we may not show your most watched, and we're not necessarily showing our favorite first most watched. We're just showing some of the most watched finales that had happened in your lifetime. We will be going a little further back in a few, but as you can see, the genres that we're basically into now, which is 80s and 90s, I'm going to show you guys something further back than that. I know Brady wasn't born. I don't even know. I think I was born. I don't know. But everybody knows this. But let me show this one first for you.
An agent of change, and I fully intend to live up to that pledge. I will make change.
Now change to a change.
What?
No, see, in here, you make change. There, you make a change. So just make the change. Make change to make a change. Oh, just change it!
That's me.
Well, I think I see why Dr. Crane never cures anybody. I couldn't help.
It is.
Oh, that was the end. Good. That ran okay. And of course, this is the one we all know. I think that was the Star Trek clip then. Now that
probably was.
Yeah, we saw that one. So, and of course, we all know this one.
I'm off. Yeah. But Sammy, can I let you in on a little secret? Sure. I knew you'd come back. You did? You can never be unfaithful to your one true love. You always come back to her. Who is that? Think about it, Sam. I'm the luckiest son of a bitch on earth.
all right. We're closed.
Woo! We went through 2 incarnations of managers for Cheers. Rose, tell me, did you see this episode and what did you think? And if not, why not?
I believe I did see it. It's been a while. I was a huge Cheers fan. His love of his life was the bar.
Yeah.
So, not Diane.
Yeah, you're right. And Diane, I had a little bit of a crush on Diane. I mean,
I love Diane, but she was kind of kooky,
Oh, I love him that way.
That explains much, Mark. That explains much.
I love him that way. So let me tell you this real quick before I move on to Jerome. Sorry, guys. I believe my COVID cough is coming back. Appropriately titled "One for the Road," the series finale of Cheers was the second highest rated series finale of all time, second only to the 98-minute episode reunites Sam Malone with former Flame Diane Chambers. Diane and Sam briefly rekindle their romance, celebrating a whirlwind engagement, decide to move to Los Angeles together, and subsequently decide to part ways during their flight to LA, while their flight to LA is delayed.
I remember that. Yeah.
In the end, Sam returns to his beloved bar just in time to close up for the night. The finale is also unique. Is a unique one because it has a runtime of 98 minutes, and despite the lengthy running time, it was watched by a whopping 98 million people, which was almost half of the U.S. population at that time.
Yep.
Jeez.
Can you imagine that? Flying in a plane over, let's say, New York or whatever, and you see, how when the room is dark and you see the flickering of the TV light or whatever, and you see it all at the same time, all at the same time. That would be just absolutely amazing. So, I need a drink. You're right.
I wasn't married to Whoopi. He had an affair with her.
The characters were both bartenders. Yeah, he's right. He's correct on that. So who am I talking to now? Jerome, did you have a comment on this portion?
Yeah, I had a comment on it. It was a great ending, without a doubt. It was one of the greats. But then they went and ruined it because the reason for that 98 minutes was then they had, I think it was Leno did an interview with the cast.
Oh,
yes. And they were trashed.
Yes.
They had been drinking for hours.
Yes,
and
I
they
remember.
were trashed. And so it kind of really ruined the reputation of that ending.
Yes, you're right. All right, 2 more. Before I show you guys what was the top one, the dog, the king of all finales, I'm going to show you something that during his time and even up until now was even more memorable that actually spun off a movie. Okay, I'm sure you know what this is about. So let me show you this interview first. Oops, how about not here? I was opening it up on my own screen, stupid me, and not into the studio. So bear with me on this while I jiggle around here. Here we go.
Fugitive was a gigantic hit series for ABC, and had been on the air for many years as a huge hit with David Jansen. And the 66-67 season was its last year. I think we've been on the air for 5 years. And the series was going to end in May and go off the air. And I went to the president of the network and I said to him, we can't just end the series with another episode. People have been watching this series for 5 years, chasing the one-armed man. We have to resolve the series. And he and the other senior members of management looked at me like I was crazy. He said, what are you talking about? It's over. I said, yeah, but it's not over. They've invested in this for 5 years. We've got to come to a conclusion. No, we don't. You mean the people actually? I said, yeah. They watch and they care. They actually believe, even though they know it's fiction, but once passing over fiction, they're into that character and his story. No. What do you want to do? I said, we want to make one more episode and perhaps run it just before the start of the new season that will conclude The Fugitive. Oh, no, we don't want to conclude. It's not important. I said, yes, it is. Nobody cares. Yes, they do. I went to a few advertisers and got them to put up the extra money for one more original episode. I think it was Bristol Myers. And begrudgingly, they said, well, as long as you got it paid for, we'll let you put it on the air. It went on the air in August and got a 46 rating and a 72 share. That's what it got. I don't think anybody gets a 46 share anymore, let alone a 46 rating. 46% of all the television homes tuned in to that 1 hour.
Yep.
And what it illustrated to me was the very people who made television, who controlled television, saw the numbers and they knew that, 20 million people were watching, but they were just watching. They were just sitting there while their eyeballs went in and out, but they didn't care. And I thought, what a sad commentary on our business that the people in charge don't believe the power of their own medium. And that always stayed with me, and that you realize the people who tune in actually do care about these characters, and they want to see what happens at the end. It was, again, an early but powerful lesson to me. Of course, in the middle of the summer, to get a 72 share, we didn't advertise it particularly heavily. We just announced it was on the air.
So clearly a strong sense of investment from the loyal viewers.
Absolutely. But yet they thought that for 5 years they just watched because their sets happened to be tuned to Channel 7 that night. Anything would have sufficed.
What a great interview.
Yeah,
What
that's
great
a
interview.
dynamite interview. Oh, I can't hear you again.
No, I'd already turned it on. Anyway, so the two-part finale of this thrilling, long-running serial mystery adventure about David Jansen's Dr. Richard Kimball and his tireless search for the one-armed man who killed his wife was watched by 72% of American TV households.
Incredible.
A figure that's impossible to imagine in our age of countless cable channel streaming platforms, an audience so narrow and niche that they can barely be measured. In the end, The Fugitive would give Kimball and audiences exactly what they wanted as he faces off his elusive nemesis atop an Indiana amusement park tower, finally gets the confession he's been hunting all his time for, and 50-year-old, spoiler alert, watches the one-armed man, I'll say this again, 50-year-old, spoiler alert, watches the one-armed man fall to his death. But this next scene that I'm going to show you guys was overdue. It was owed. I understand that, Jerome, when you're at work, Rose, when you're at work, you both have a job to do.
Yep. Yeah, this was a great ending. And I've seen this ending. He's struggling. Rose, did you freeze up?
I'm here.
Okay, because you were you were standing still and like you were frozen or something.
Remember that message I
I'm just
told
waiting
you guys?
for the clip. Like,
Hold on.
freeze frame.
You remember that message I told you guys about?
Yes.
It's popped up on my screen.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, let's try this again. And
No, I missed the part about the popping up. There's a pop up.
I'll tell you about it later, but let me see if this will work again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are having some problems tonight with StreamYard. And we've been trying to fix it before the show.
Oh, my God. Your device is having trouble sharing your video.
Yep, there we go.
Try sharing again. What the effing... guys, I'm going to pop out and pop back in again. Bear with me.
So let me tell you some things about this while Mark's gone. Rose, I believe, and I'd have to check this, but I believe this was the first real solid series finale that we've come to know about shows. Okay.
You know what? I did not know anything about. I mean, I knew about the ending of The Fugitive, but it was a little bit before my time.
Right.
It was a show that my parents talked to me about.
Right.
So.
I think this is one of the very first, because it used to be shows would just get cut.
Just end.
Done. We're not no series ending, whatever. And I think The Fugitive was the very first one that they did this for. Okay.
And hear about the struggle of that. Wow.
Yeah. I know that on some other shows they wanted to do endings that I liked, but they didn't want to do the Suits basically went, no, we're done. We're out of here. And that was the way it was for a long time. Your show's been canceled. Here's the last step one. Say goodbye. You can maybe take a piece of the set or a prop as a souvenir, and on to the next show. And that's what they used to do all the time. A number of actors, you'll when they do interviews, years later, they'll show you something from the show that they were on, some costume or a prop that was in the background or whatever. And there was never any satisfactory ending. And I think The Fugitive was the very first one that they did that to, because of, like they said, it was a lot of, a lot of people were invested, and it was a popular show right from their word go.
Yeah. I mean, it's really to have the forethought to think, people want to see a resolution. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even today, you don't get that nearly enough.
No.
But TV's different these days. It's really hard because you've got all these streaming services now, and things just drop off.
Right. Well, what they do nowadays is take Stranger Things, which was really popular, one of the first really popular streaming shows. What did they do with season 1? They gave you an ending, but then they left you a little cliffhanger for in case they got renewed, and that's what they do all the time. They don't do anything going, okay, we're done. Let's tie up all those loose ends and go. They don't do that anymore. They always leave a loose end hanging for, we'll do a movie.
First thing you plan to do. Get out of here.
Tuesday, August 29th, the day the running stopped.
And who was that voice?
Sound like Raymond Burr. Is it
no, it's not. It's a certain voiceover actor we know in cartoons. Conrad.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cannon, or the voice of the Lone Ranger, the whole 9
Robert
yards.
Conrad.
Let me ask you, Rose, I'll go to you first before we go to our final one. What would you have done?
About what?
The guy that was chasing you for years and years and years, who extends his hands out to shake yours. What would you have done?
I don't know if I would have shook his hand or not, to be honest.
Yeah. Jerome, what would you have done?
I would have shaken his hand.
Yeah.
I've been in, not like chase or whatever, but I've been in situations where I've had to face up to, somebody who had wronged me many, many years ago. And basically I was always taught to be the bigger person.
Well, it's interesting. I would, have done exactly like you said, Jerome, but I really hold grudges. So
I still got one going for 30 years.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I have one going right now.
Hold on, children. I probably would have needed that time of this guy chasing me to get through that grudge. So by the time I met up with him, I probably would have been over it and would have definitely shook his hand.
Yeah. So in the chat room, we have 2 comments I want to address. Okay. First, Brady, The Fugitive was in black and white, but the last season was a color one.
That's correct.
Okay.
What's the other?
And Brady, there was a film about how Gilligan's Island ended.
Yes.
Actually, there were 3 of them.
Yeah. Brady likes jumping ahead on things.
Yeah, I know.
I've noticed. He gets a little ahead of himself. And
I know.
I need to pour some cold water on him or something. Down to the final clip, and everybody, if you do not know what this final clip is going to be, then you've been under a rock. This was number 1, guys. It was the highest ranked finale of any TV movie in history. It was a series that I have watched when it was new, and I continue to watch.
It doesn't get old.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It
doesn't get old. And with this series, 6 days a week, this show comes on MeTV. And I don't know why, it's almost like a magnet, but I watch it every single day when I come home. It's on my list.
My problem with the MeTV one is they're showing the later ones. I want them to show the earlier ones.
Yeah.
They cycle through.
Actually, I did. I did see the episode when so-and-so died.
Okay.
So they did definitely show that one. I did
5 o'clock Charlie, man. It's a great episode.
I did see the episode of African Americans in minor roles, but yet recognizable roles. You know, so without any ado, as you guys have noticed, I have not played any theme music to any of these shows to avoid getting flagged. And the fact that if you don't know the theme music to any of these shows I'm showing you, then I'm just going to have to direct you to YouTube and go find it yourself. We can all hum them. But watch this, guys.
How are you getting out of here, Colonel?
Oh, I've got my transportation over yonder. There's a Jeep meeting me at the orphanage. I'll take one last ride on Sophie. Then at the Padre's request, I'm giving her to the orphans. They can use her for farming and maybe take her for a ride now and then. She's real good with kids. Well, boys, it would be hard to call what we've been through fun, but I'm sure glad we went through it together. You boys always managed to give me a good laugh right when I needed it most. Never forget the time you dropped Winchester's drawers in the OR. Of course, I had to pretend I was mad at you, but inside, I was laughing to beat all hell.
Yeah, I'm laughing just thinking about it.
I love a good laugh like this.
I better get out of here.
Colonel, before you go,
we've been thinking about it, and there's a little something we'd like to give you.
It's not much, but it comes from the heart.
Who else did he do that to, Jerome?
Huh?
Who else did he do that to?
Radar.
Correct. When Radar left.
He also gave it when he also did it to him when he gave him the Purple Heart.
Right.
It sounds like my cab is here.
Yeah.
So.
Come on, I'll give you a ride up there.
He's crazy to accept this ride.
Oh,
that thing's dangerous.
Oh, yeah. more dangerous is him going down that hill.
Right. Oh, when
at the end here.
Honeycutt leaves.
Uh-huh.
Whoa.
Look, I know how tough it is for you to say goodbye, so I'll say it. Maybe you're right. Maybe we will see each other again. But just in case we don't, I want you to know how much you've meant to me. I'll never be able to shake you. Whenever I see a big pair of feet or a cheesy mustache, I'll think of you.
Whenever I smell month-old socks, I'll think of you.
And the next time somebody nails my shoe to the floor.
Yeah, when somebody gives me a martini that tastes like lighter fluid.
I miss you.
I'll miss you a lot. I can't imagine what this place would have been like if I hadn't found you here.
I'll see you back in the States. I promise. Just in case, I left you a note. What?
Watch this.
That's dangerous right there.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man. I got that tear, man.
I got that chill again.
Oh yeah. What was this? 83?
Yes.
I was 12 years old, man. I watched this live.
I was a junior in college.
What I love is this is the opposite way from the very first episode where they came in from that mountain range and they go out.
What a brilliant show.
Oh,
What
that was a
brilliant
great
finale.
ending.
It was fantastic. I've actually seen that area where they filmed MASH. I can't even talk. Film MASH. But that's basically all I got. I wanted you guys to see number one, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen. And it was on recently because this is the 50th anniversary, I think, of this show. And if you can imagine Alan Alda now and all the women that he had picked up and hit on in this show, I really don't want to imagine those women, now myself.
Well, yeah, but some of them,
Golly, Mark,
some of those
that's
women went on to fame and fortune.
Well, it's not what I care about, but I mean, it's like 50 years. I've seen Alan Alda right now, at his age. I was like, okay, well, I there's Hawkeye. I remember dark hair, black haired Hawkeye, and
he's looking a little rough.
Yeah, and I've seen Loretta Swit as well.
Yeah.
Whatever. But that's my show, which we can do many more of these later on, which we should, because there are finales of every show out there. And I'd ask you guys.
Are now.
Yeah, well, currently, each and every year, there's always a finale.
But the problem, as I was explaining to Rose, is they used to not do finales like this.
Yeah.
You know?
It's good that some of the finales actually had closings,
Yeah.
And then other finales were like, what the hell were you thinking? And then other finales, there were actually none because the series got canceled before the upcoming season for it. So you had no finale.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. Hey, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it, buddy boy.
Great job,
we got a
Mike.
great team
Yeah,
here.
Mike.
We all put on good shows. Speaking of good shows, there's one coming on tomorrow morning. And it's not my turn, but the great dude there with more hair than me is doing something tomorrow. And what are you doing? Why don't you let us in on?
Set the Wayback Machine, children, to the early 1980s. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
The 1980s. The the biggest thing going on at the time for us kids was video games. You know, we were going to rot our brains out. We were, it was going to lead us to satanic cults. It was going to do horrible things.
It did.
And then most of us, it did.
It did, yeah.
But what happened? Hollywood realized it, and they made cartoons based on those video games. Some were great, some were not. More often than not, they were not great. And so we're going to review some of them, and we're going to talk about some of the ones that I couldn't get clips to.
Oh,
because
okay.
They got pulled.
Okay. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. But before I go on to tomorrow's show, I want to talk a little bit about this young lady and what she does on the side.
Yes.
Rose is an accomplished author, and with her Warped Influences book. Do I have a clip of that?
It's a great book.
Yep. Warped. I thought I had a clip of this. What's that? There it is.
Go.
Okay. You can find it on Audible. But go ahead and tell us a little bit about your book, Rose.
Okay, it's a sci-fi psychological thriller about a girl who goes missing. She's 16 years old. She's got a lot ahead of her. She's like wants to make it to the pros in tennis.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Help me, Jerome. Isn't that a line in some song? She's 16 years old and she's got a lot ahead of her.
I don't know.
Anyway, she goes missing. When she's found, she has no memory of her missing time. Other girls go missing. It becomes a big mystery. Is it aliens? Is it human trafficking? What's going on? You find out when you read the book. And not only is it on Audible anymore, you can get it on you can find it on Kobo. You can find it on it's on Google Play and a bunch of other places, including Nook. That's the Barnes and Noble audio.
She's 16.
What you're thinking of is she's 16, she's beautiful, and she's mine.
I think that's probably what you're thinking about.
That's
but
what
thank
you
you
think,
for the
yeah.
plug, Mark. I can always use the plug. I'm trying to work on the sequel and a side story for that book. So
yes, it's available in hardcover.
Yeah, it's available in hardcover.
Yes, it is. And I if you want a signed copy, I've got 3 left. I've almost sold out. I bought 20 of them, and I found 3. I thought I was sold out, and I found 3 more.
Wow!
So hit me up on Facebook Messenger if you want to sign copy.
They can also find it on Amazon, can't they?
Yeah, but you know what? It's better if you buy it through.
Oh no, shoot! I would be pushing that. I wouldn't hesitate at all, saying, "Don't you dare buy it from Amazon when you know I got copies."
You can buy it through Amazon, but you're not going to get a signed copy through Amazon. You can get it through me.
All right. Well, there's that too.
Yeah, we can get a signed copy.
But like I said, I've only got 3 copies left. I also have it on. I got flash drives made. And I put the audiobook on the flash drive in case there's people who don't want to be subscribed to these audiobook places. So I have a few of those. They're kind of expensive to do, but
and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that because I'll be listening to this in my car. I think that's the only time you'll get my 100%
It's the best
attention.
time. It's the best time.
Yeah.
I listen to audiobooks in my car now all the time.
During horror, I don't have that problem because I don't have that long of a drive. I've got a 15-minute commute.
I've got that. My commute's almost 40 minutes, sometimes an hour.
Yeah, I'm 35. So that's perfect for me.
So yeah, it takes like a couple of weeks to get through a book, but at least it's you have something to do besides just listening to the same old. And everybody gets tired of the news,
Yeah.
Hey, listen, when I used to have an hour-long commute, I'd put a certain book in. I'd do a 900-page book in about 6 weeks.
So you guys are all scaring me right now, okay? Yeah. You think that's, a short amount of time. 6 weeks is an eternity for me. And you have to be regimental in knowing that you're going to finish this book. And it's like, okay, I'm into the 3rd week. Wow, my God!
The book is right beside you. If it's good, you put in the CD, which is what I like, CDs. Put it in. You're driving for that hour. It's time for the next one. You pop it, put the next one in, and you just keep going. And it's always right next to you.
Anyway, guys, if you have a short time of space on your time, you can watch our show, Saturday Morning Cartoons. Rose wants to say something to try to get me to handle 6 weeks worth of time. What is it, Rose?
Here's what I want to say.
Uh-oh.
I would like everybody, if you can, to tune in to our Transformers show tomorrow night.
I forgot about that tomorrow night.
Please don't forget, because Rachel is looking forward to having you on. Roses and Reactions, special guest star Mark B. Lee.
More than meets the eye.
We're doing the Transformers cartoon, the original.
Hey, look, I brushed up on those episodes. You know,
I bet that was hard.
No, yeah. Well,
did you get our email about the change? Did you get our email?
Yes, you did change it up on me, and I was all ready for the one you were not going to talk about.
Oh, she got on my case, man. But yeah,
Please,
she said I picked too many from season 2, and oh yeah, she jumped. She's like, "You tell Mark right now. You tell Mark right now."
What scares me, and I'm so stupid, I didn't upload the video that Rachel did. What scares me is Rachel literally knocked it out of the park of how many Transformers she knew of. I don't know how that happened. I think she might have had
a huge Transformers fan, and not the Michael Bay stuff. Okay, she's into the comics mostly.
Wow.
And she likes the she likes the cartoons.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a
do.
Beast Wars fan. I love the Beast Wars.
Yeah, same here. I loved it when they went into, really bad CGI.
Yeah. I know.
7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. Please tune in at least for a little bit and make Rachel's day just by saying hi.
In all honesty, I don't think I'm going to get a word in edgewise. Letting Rachel loose, I don't know if that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, she's looking forward to it.
I'm just going to be here. I should get a bunch of hats, and then every so on, just put on a new hat just to see if she even notices, because I know she's going to black out. She's like a shark. Her eyes roll back in her head, and then she's gone, man.
Every now and when we do these Roses and Reactions, usually we watch our shows solo. This time we watched all of them together. So it should be an interesting show tomorrow night. She is very when it comes to Transformers, she knows about just about everything I think that you could know.
Well, that's scary. What the hell you need me there for? But anyway,
she wanted somebody there besides me, because I've always been I've never really been into Transformers, and she wanted somebody who knows their stuff.
Yeah, I actually did. I actually really liked the animated movie, just like I like G.I. Joe animated movie.
We watched that last night.
What?
We watched it last night.
Which one?
The animated movie. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Did you recognize Leonard Nimoy?
I did recognize Leonard Nimoy. Okay. Judd Nelson did not sound like Judd Nelson to me, but
did you recognize Orson Welles?
Orson Welles.
Yes,
that was the big topic of conversation last night.
Yeah, I mean the fact that he actually kind of looked like Orson Welles too.
He kind of did.
He got this freaking robot beard.
Hey, they'll sell no wine before their time.
So that's gonna be great tomorrow. I hope you guys join us for Saturday morning and go shopping like I'm gonna do. And if I come in drunk, then it's probably a good thing that Rachel's there. Just so you know. Hey guys, thank you for joining us for tonight's show. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you guys in the morning or tomorrow evening, one or the other or both. Really appreciate you guys hanging around. We'll see you tomorrow.
Out of the blue of the western sky comes Sky King. As we say here in the West.